can already tell today's going to be a bit unhinged. Hello, I'm Kennie JD, content creator, nosy bitch, as well as indie musician.
What's up, man? It's Sean Pecos, the ultimate dot connector.
And welcome to Connect the Dots. Connect the Dots is an incredibly special set of conversations where we discuss not only what happens on the court, in the booth, or behind the scenes, but also take an unfiltered look at stardom and culture.
You can't learn funny in school, you can learn comedy. I know plenty of people went to school to get a background.
We get to know who people are, what drives them, inspires them, motivates them, makes them into fully fleshed out people. A real humanistic look at those you know and love.
If I wasn't a comedian, I'd be a professional sugar daddy.
Aficionado.
So here's the story. Hey, that's how we got it edited out.
Shoutouts to our partners C4 Smart Energy and PrizePicks. Love you all. So, what is good, everybody? It's Kennie JD here for a solo episode of Connect the Dots here at NBA All-Star Weekend. And we have a true lyricist.
Yes. No, we got a true baller.
True baller.
A true hooper.
True hooper.
A true all-star.
Hey, we got Symba in the building.
What's
Thank
happening?
you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
So
I love your hoodie.
Thank you. We have a lot to discuss because there was a
We like distant cousins.
Are we?
Detroit and the Bay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because we also, what we'll get into today, if you don't mind.
Okay.
We heard your quote saying that you
Shout
were
out
better.
to Marshall Mathers.
We heard your quote saying that you were a better rapper than Eminem, and apparently it sparked some fire. So I'm curious if we look at it retrospectively, how you feel about it now that you've had his entire.
I think if you ask, we're at NBA All-Star Weekend. I think if you ask any NBA player who's better than them, they're going to say nobody, right? It's a competitive spirit that we have. Now, that doesn't take away from the legend and the icon and all the work that Eminem has put in. But I was asked a question, right? And they
set you up.
Yeah, they cut the clip up a certain way to where it made it look like I was going at one of the GOATs, but it wasn't that at all. I respect M. Like, I got a lot of respect for M, learned a lot from M. I work with Dr. Dre. Like, Dre told me a lot about M. But when they were asking me, I don't feel like nobody in this world is better than me as a rapper.
That's
That's
how you
just
gotta go
personally
in.
how I feel.
That's how you got to go in, man.
That's how I feel. But shout out to the GOAT, M.
Shout out. So we have, basically the podcast, we like to talk to people about their artistry, about what inspires them, their lives, and how that bleeds into whatever their career is. And so we just going to sit back, have a cool time.
Let's do it.
And go into that. One thing, though, I think we should touch on, which is that you are part of the PrizePicks fam.
PrizePicks is the largest fantasy betting app on the planet. All you got to do is pick more or less on your favorite players, and you can win up to 100 times your money.
Hey. No script, by the way, and no prompting. so we got to do a shout out so that y'all sponsor us for season 2.
Yeah.
We also had...
Shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to my boy Mike over at PrizePicks.
We also had Stephen A. Yesterday, who was also part of the PrizePicks fam. So shout out to Stephen A. Smith, and thank you again for coming in.
Shout out to Joe Budden, too. He's a part of the PrizePicks family as well.
Yep. So let's get started.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you a bit about how you got started, when you got started.
Okay.
You're from the Bay, but we hear that you've kind of traveled all around. So we're kind of curious about that.
So my journey, man, was just all about never giving up. As a kid, as I was just telling you, I was a ball player. So I never seen myself being a rapper until I realized I couldn't play ball no more. Right? So I got caught cheating on my SAT test.
I was going to ask, was it an injury?
No, I got caught cheating on my SAT test, and that's kind of what ended my basketball career. I was very nervous about the test. It was a lot of pressure on me. I was from a small community called Antioch, which is in the Bay Area, and I was kind of like one of the most popular players from that side. And when it came to school, it was always a challenge for me. Like, I'm very inquisitive and very smart, but I could never understand some of the structures that school put in place. So I was never really the best at school. So when it was time for me to kind of make a decision, I got very nervous, and I felt like, you know what, I want to go to a big school. I need to ace this SAT. So I ended up getting caught cheating on my SAT, and that kind of messed everything up. So from there, I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper. My friend had a studio around the corner from the gym that we used to go hoop at. So I went to my friend's house one day, and they was all in there rapping. And I'm like, okay, like this kind of cool. So I lay a rap one day, and I go to school the next day, and I played it for this girl, and she liked it. And then she started rocking with me. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a rapper. I was like, I think I'm gonna be a rapper. So from that day forward, I literally just ran with it and was like, how do I become the best rapper? And it's crazy because now I'm at a place to where rapping was my passion, but becoming a musician is now my passion. So when I said like I want to be a rapper, I didn't understand like the process of like song making and making a song.
Is
like,
that the distinction you make, like as a rapper and then a musician makes the music?
Because it's two different things. As a rapper, I could just rap right now and just go crazy. That was my dream, to be able to just be the coldest dude at doing that. But then it becomes a business. And people get involved, and you get managers, and you get booking agents, and you get like all these people that's involved. So you got to start making things that like people can sing, you know what I mean? Or people could relate to. So I had to learn how to like make songs out of knowing how to rap. And that's where I've been like, I would say like the last 2-3 years of my career, but this year is where I could say I've truly kind of perfected it.
Do you think there's like a sacrifice process through
Definitely.
that?
You sacrificing your family. I ain't seen my son in 2 weeks. I ain't seen my son in 2 weeks. I went from Grammy weekend straight to Vegas. I had to do a hosting for Super Bowl. I was supposed to go back to LA to see my son. One of the producers who's on my album had a window between Monday and Wednesday to work to finish this song, so I had to go to Atlanta straight from Super Bowl. I left from Atlanta to come here. I'm leaving here to go pick up my son in the Bay Area, so I literally haven't seen him in 2 weeks. And you sacrifice a lot. Like, I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of relationships. I've lost a lot of personal things that I've seen that I thought would be a part of my dream that is no longer there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a sacrifice.
Do you think it's like egos that get in the way? Or do you think it's just...
Here's what I say, right? And I'm speaking from personal experience with currently what I'm going through. You can give people money. You can give people opportunity. You can give people your time. You can give people whatever they ask for. At the end of the day, they want your life. They want who you are. So it's like the money will never amount to what's in their mind of who you are. You can give them money. You could buy them a car. You could buy them a house. You could do whatever for them. They're still going to feel like, I'm not that. I can't walk in the room and Dame Lillard say what's up. I can't walk in the room and KD know. That's what they want. So once you realize that, it's like you kind of got to get it away from you, and it hurts because you've seen like all these people in your mind be a part of your dream. I didn't see like my homies, we grew up playing basketball, like, oh, this gonna be my manager, or this gonna be my publicist, or this gonna be that person. I'm gonna help the homies get in position, but the homies got a motive. The homie got the plan of his own of kind of what he see for himself, and sometimes that don't add up with where you at. So what I've learned is just, hire people that do the position, because sometimes friends have the sin of familiarity. They'll be hanging with the next Michael Jordan and not even know it. Hanging with the next JayZ and not even know it because it's his friend. So he can't see past what's going on. So like people who be around out of love don't understand the value of what's going on.
No, I definitely get that. I remember, because my background is in like social media, so I'm like YouTube primarily.
Yeah.
And when I was originally starting that off, my entire family wanted to be a manager. And I was like, what background do y'all have in management? I don't. I know you though.
Exactly.
And I want to be a manager. So let me be a manager.
And then it puts pressure on you, because it's like, if you say no, now you're the family member that don't want to involve them, and you're Hollywood and you're all these things, when it's like, nah, I'm trying to protect my business. Like, I'm trying to.
It's a job.
Yeah, this is a real job. Like, we was out last night till about what, Jay, 4 in the morning. We had to get up at 9:30 to make sure we was here. This is a job.
Yeah.
And we love this and we take this serious. So it's like, if you don't have that same passion, how can I trust you to guide my business?
Or know-how,
Yeah.
for that matter. It's like you don't just bring a dude in who just really wants to be a pilot to fly a plane.
Fact.
So
You're going to hire the person that
You
went to
who
school,
knows how to do
learned exactly.
well, we all crashing.
Exactly.
So definitely get
Exactly.
that. So we heard about your kind of journey as far as being signed, then going independent,
Yeah.
then getting signed again. I'm really curious, like, what was that process now that you're back to being signed again,
Mm-hmm.
and you were talking about kind of all of the chefs in the room,
Mm-hmm.
adding to the pot. What made you decide to go from independent to signed again after?
Kind of what we was just talking about.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to build a team with the people that was around me. So when Donnie Meadows and Chase Fairbanks, who is the production company I'm signed to, when I met them, they had a lot of relationships and a lot of people to where it was just like, you know what, we can go major with this thing. Like, we could bring in people that understand what's going on. I come from the Bay, which is a place of independence. So we kind of naturally used to doing things on our own. We used to going to get the connect on our own or going to get who we need to talk to on our own. So when I met them, it was the first time I had people that like really helped me
That did it.
execute what I was trying to do. So the independent scene just never really worked for me because it was like I'm somebody that needs a team and a lot of attention because what I'm trying to do is very different. I'm naturally going against the grain, like intentionally. Like, I see what people do and I'll be like, okay, he went left, I'm going right. You know what I mean? Like, that's just who I am as a person. So with the major structure, and shout out to Atlantic Records because they've been very, 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 very patient with me. Very patient with me. I've been on the label for about 4 years, and we've had like a lot of ups and downs in this place of like where the digital space is right now, of like figuring what that is. We've had viral moments, we've had good moments with records, but where we're at right now is like solidifying exactly what it is. And they've like allowed me to take the time to figure that out, not only with them, but with my team. So for me, it's kind of always been this process of like failure has been my data, right? Like, I do things and I mess up and I'm like, okay, I can't do that again. You know what I mean? Or we'll try this, can't do that again. So now we're like at a place to where it's like we kind of know what we need to do to like hit the target for who's
How
paying
much
attention.
creative freedom is there in that, I guess?
The good thing with Atlantic, they don't get in your way. They let you like do what you want to do. Like, you've artistically free to do whatever it is you want to do. Nobody has ever came to me and been like, we need a record for radio, or we need a record for this, or we need a record for TikTok. Nobody has ever said that to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, like nobody. And I've watched people who sign to other labels,
Yeah.
like A&Rs, come to them like,
We need something with
we
a
need
dance.
something for TikTok. Like, we need a dance. We need this.
Yeah.
That's never been the case. So for me, like, it's really have like always been about like accepting the process and understanding that like we're not hit chasing. We're not trying to find a record to be big for 6 months. We trying to have a 40, 50, 60-year career in this thing, and to build that out, it takes time. So understanding that I don't have all the answers, right? So let's talk to the people who've done this thing. Let's bring in the people who's done this, and that's kind of what it's been about with me and my situation. What about you?
What about me?
As far as creating a show, creating a podcast, you could face some of those same pressures. So as an artist, we go through like having to deliver a song. Do you go through that with like having to deliver an episode, or like we need a feature? Like, do you go through like having to deliver a guest? Like, how does that work in your space?
I think it just depends on being a little bit able to read a room and balancing that with being authentic with yourself, right? And sometimes that can be a bit awkward, but I think once that balance is met, everything's
What makes
Gucci.
that awkward?
I'm awkward. like as a person.
That's how I feel sometimes.
Like
I
as a
swear to God, that's
as
how I
a
feel.
person, just innately, regardless who's in the room.
Do you feel, how could I say this? Do you feel like an introvert around a lot of people?
Yeah. I'm definitely introverted. Like if it's on a spectrum, I would say more introverted.
Yeah.
How did this turn into my interview?
It's just a
love
conversation.
I
We're
love
just
it
talking.
though. No, this is the first time we've ever had like a guest actually like turn it backward. No, I would definitely say I'm very introverted. And then in a space like this, where you're meeting new people and interacting in that way, I think it's like an exercise for me in the sense that, especially as a creator, you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I am. I'm at home kind of working by myself. And then this is the space where we interact and collaborate and work creatively with everyone here. I've always been kind of interested in, would you consider yourself also an introvert in a
Yes.
way? So like,
It's just, I don't come across as an introvert because
same.
I'm kind of likable.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm
So
not
it's
like in a corner like,
yeah, it's like I'm
this.
not the guy to like go stand by myself in a corner. Like
Yeah.
I'll say what's up, but there is times where it's like damn, I just want to go home and just like watch TV. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, and chill right now.
Do you think as an artist in particular that being an artist gives you space to be that introverted? Because I know I need to be away and then come back.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
And-
being an artist like kind of creates boundaries within itself. So it's like because you're an artist, like people kind of feel like they can approach you like how they can approach, you know what I mean? Someone, there's like a security guard right there and like 4 of the homies. So it's like they got to walk through like all these boundaries to be able to say what's up.
I need to get an entourage. I don't have an entourage. That would really set me up. Okay, yeah.
Nah, for sure. So it's like there's like boundaries between it, but it also gets to this point to where it's like it starts to feel like it's like invading your like personal space. You know what I mean? And I can only imagine what like a Kevin Hart go through. You know what I mean? Like I'm a discovery act, so I'm somebody that's new to this space and people are starting to learn me. And I'm slowly starting to walk in grocery stores and people know me. Or like last night, we was waiting on the driver to pull up, so we went downstairs to the bar and we was just waiting. And the bartender comes from behind the bar and he was just like, bro, you stopped me from doing something crazy. Like I was listening to Reality Is. He was talking about one of my songs. He's like, I was listening to Reality Is and I was about to do something crazy and you stopped me from doing that. And I'm like, dog, I'm all the way in Indiana. You know what I mean? And like my influence affects someone that works here. So it's moments like that to where it's like, okay, you know, this is dope.
What I do matters.
But then you get the moments where it's like, somebody run up on you like, hey, bro, what you want for a feature? Or, oh, and it's like, dog, like, I don't even know you. You know what I mean? Like,
And I think even in this space, and one of like the reoccurring trends I'm noticing with each person that comes in here, you know, everyone's gigantic in their own right, you know, monsters in their own careers. And every person I notice, I'm happy that we on the set have been able to make here at Connect the Dots. We've been able to make places where we can actually interact with people in a humanistic.
You've been able to connect the dots.
To connect the dots in like a business sense and like a networking sense, but also just people feel human here. And I'm really happy that we've been able to. Hopefully speaking for you.
That
as
can
well.
also be from a place of experience. So you're someone that's a creator yourself. So sometimes a lot of creators, we like talking to other creators because we share the same mind. Sometimes when you're talking to people that's like a journalist, they're like looking for these viral moments. Or they're looking for like you to say something to like amplify their show. When it's just like, bro.
Symba hates Eminem.
No, I do not hate Eminem. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Eminem, what's my favorite Eminem verse? Reggie, JayZ, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada, Corrupt, Nas, and Demi. But in this industry, I'm a cause of a lot of envy. So when I'm not put on this list, this shit does not offend me. That's why you see me walk around like nothing's bothering me. Eminem taught me how to have character. So like the whole narrative of like Symba don't like Eminem, that's false. Like that's a whole
Where did
like that's
that come
cat.
from?
You know what I mean? Like I learned a
Does
lot
that
from
not
him.
make you anxious? That makes me a little anxious whenever I'm like speaking in like an interview setting. I feel like I'm a very careful with my words person, and I would hate like something I said to be completely. Or do you just
The problem I go
just
through
take it?
that I've learned last year is I'm a free speaker.
Same?
So I'll speak my mind, and I've learned that there's this like clip culture to where they'll take like the one thing that like everybody will react to and post that, and not everything that led up to that moment.
No one likes context anymore.
No
I've
one
noticed.
likes it. They just want the moment. They want like the virality. They just want everything that comes with it. They don't really want to like guide the story of where it was you was coming from in the first place. So I've understood that. So through that, I've learned to be free with someone like you. Or when I go to a more corporate place, I'll be more political. And I won't say certain things.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I've noticed that if I don't say it, my face will, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
there's no in
Because
between.
you can't hide it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like your emotions gonna tell everybody how you feel.
Yeah.
We are excited to announce that C4 Smart Energy is the official energy drink sponsor of the Connect the Dots podcast. It's harder than ever these days to stay focused with endless distractions and shorter attention spans. It can feel impossible to stop scrolling and actually get work done. Thankfully, C4 Smart Energy has reinvented the energy drink game with C4 Smart Energy, the only energy drink clinically proven to provide enhanced mental focus. C4 Smart Energy is formulated with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine from green coffee beans, plus potassium, niacin, vitamin B12 to help support well-being and help you feel your best, all while boosting metabolism and promoting fat burn. From your brain to your body, C4 Smart Energy is the energy drink that does it all and tastes amazing. C4 Smart Energy is available at Target, Amazon, and anywhere else you get energy drinks. Go grab a can and share on social media, tagging C4 Energy and the Connect the Dots podcast to show us how smart energy helps you stay focused wherever you are. C4 Smart Energy, stay focused.
So, you've been very vocal about the death of like popular rappers. And unfortunately, it seems like another person is taken away so early every 6 months, every year or so. I'm kind of curious, what are your thoughts on how that can be changed in any way, or do you think it's so embedded in certain aspects of, I don't want to say music culture or even hip hop culture, street culture maybe.
Street culture, and hip hop is rooted in street culture. You know, so unfortunately, some of the laws that comes with the streets enter hip hop at certain times in certain spaces. So it's a very conflicting thing for me, because I watch people like work their ass off to like get to a certain point in their life just for it to be taken like by somebody that wanted like a chain or wanted a watch or whatever it may be. So it's very I don't even like talking about this, as you could kind of see, because it's really a touchy subject for me, because it's something that only goes on in hip hop. Like we don't see, like I was just telling my homie this, right? Like when you see like a I don't want to say a specific ethnicity, but let's just say a kid that's not black, right, or not of color, make it to the NBA or make it to the NFL, right? The first thing their parents or everybody around them is saying is like, oh, get me a car, or like, he got us a house, or he did this, or like you'll hear that person be like, I bought my mom a house, I bought this. But when you see people from other ethnicities, it's like they family kind of already had the house and like had the car and like had
So that's not
businesses.
momentous.
So all they had to do was focus on their career. So as young black men, it's very difficult to get to a space to where you can't even just solely focus on your career. You got to focus on like people trying to attack you, women coming after you, ex-friendships trying to tear you down, which takes away from the creative process. You know what I mean? So when I see certain people like P&B Rock or Pop Smoke or whatever it may be, P&B Rock went to get something to eat.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke was in LA, like in an Airbnb enjoying himself. Like, so it's unfortunate that someone could know where they are and they're not doing the best in life and could go say, oh, I'm gonna go take his chain or I'm gonna go do this. And then because that person won't give it up, it leads to death. Or it leads to something that you can't come back from. Now you're dealing with a kid who made a decision in a moment to go to jail for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Or take somebody's parent away from them. So it's very like annoying and it's very hurtful because it's like I shouldn't have to work this hard to continue to look over my shoulder. I should be able to take care of my family in peace. I should be able to take my mom out to eat in peace. I should be able to take my son's mom shopping in peace. I shouldn't have to worry about who's trying to like rob me or like do something to me in that moment. So it's something I speak on a lot because I feel like it's something we need to clean up in this community. It's like we ain't all gotta feel like we gotta take from somebody because we ain't got it in that moment.
Yeah.
My bad if I was a little long.
No. That was great.
That shit is like, it's the most annoying thing because it's like people, like think about all the shit you do, right? It's damn near 11:30, 12 o'clock, right? All the shit you did last night to be able to wake up, get dressed, come here and do your job. Somebody wants your spot. Somebody want what you got. And because they can't have it, they're willing to take your life. You know what I mean? As a rapper, this is the shit we go through.
And in a way, take their own lives. Because you
they don't
most
care
like,
about going to jail. It's like, he's not that guy no more. That's all I wanted to make sure.
This was something that came up briefly, I want to say during the Stephen A. Smith interview, where co-host Sean Peckus was bringing up essentially people within record labels that there was essentially people who are so short-sighted that they'll ruin their entire careers to leak a song and maybe make, I don't know, maybe a few $1,000s off of a leak, and then you're not reputable ever again. And I guess because I've always been a person that's very like, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to do that. I can't wrap my head around the concept of just being so short-sighted. And I guess what I'm learning through the process of just talking to everybody that comes in and kind of talks about how they interact with people in various industries is that a lot of people are very short-sighted and somehow still in record labels and stuff like that. So I'm like wrapping my head around that.
So the thing with that is, right, the record label isn't the problem. The record label is a business.
Yeah.
So a record label is to help amplify what it is you have going on internally. The problem is the internal shit around the artist. So you'll deal with somebody, let's say it's an artist from Indiana called Little Apartment, right? There's an apartment right there, right? Say it's an artist called Little Apartment, right? Now, Little Apartment makes a song dissing someone that he doesn't get along with from 4 miles away, right? He makes this song. The song goes viral because he's talking about doing things to people that actually happened. So people heard about these things, right? So they're listening to it like, oh shit, that actually happened. So you get people that's like becoming fans off shock value, not off the quality of the work. So because of that, now they want to know who he's talking about. If they want to know who he's talking about, they're going to go find who he's talking about. Now the person he's talking about makes a song, right? And now he's replying and all the record label is doing is saying is, hey, shit, this shit is hits.
It sounds like money to
me. You know
me.
what I mean? How do we get involved? They're not participating in what's going on internally. What's going on internally is what's amplifying this whole thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, we got to understand how to leave the streets in the streets. The streets is not a place for business. Business is not a place for the streets. When you come to the music industry, you're doing music business. There's a difference between making music and being in the music industry. I'm in the music industry. So for me, I gotta deliver songs. I gotta set an example for these kids. I gotta make it home to my son every night. I don't have time to do the making music shit where I'm just pulling up on somebody in their neighborhood just to pull up and we hanging out on the block and gambling and, you know, all these things, and then somebody come over there that don't like him and start shooting, now I'm dead.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta take accountability for some of the things that we bring into the music business with us and understand we gotta leave that shit in the streets.
I think this is a great segue because it's pretty obvious that you're a very thoughtful and well thought out speaker. And
I kind of hate that about myself.
Why?
I've been that way my whole life. Like, I don't know where it came from. I feel like because my dad died when I was like a kid, and I feel like I always hear these stories about my dad, how he was like this inquisitive person and like all these things, and I feel like I got that trait of him. So like even in first grade, they was like, yeah, Christopher Columbus discovered America. I'm like, well, who docked the boat? You know what I mean? Like, I was always like that kid in my life. And it like put me in this space where teachers is like, he's a hard head, or he's hard to work with, or he thinks too much, or he talks too much. I just want to know.
I think that cerebral nature is probably why you're a good rapper. Like, you're able to have a thought and articulate it in a way that's very natural to your inquisitiveness.
That's true too.
So yeah, I think that's a good thing.
That's true too.
Because a lot of people just be saying shit.
Yeah. I've never said nothing just to say it. It's always something I think, feel, or want to know.
Yeah. So, which leads us to a new segment, maybe, or like something we're trying out here. Because you are so articulate. As a side note, I don't really love that word choice either, because I feel like people use articulate to Black people as if we couldn't be.
Like we can't
be. Like what am I gonna say?
Like we was just all supposed to be dumb and ignorant.
Yeah. Whenever I get well spoken, I always go, okay. I mean, I know it's a compliment, but also, okay, anyway, but you're a smart dude. And so you've tweeted some smart things. Yeah. And we are kind of curious, or wise things, I think is a better word choice. So we wanted to kind of get your reaction on some stuff that we have found. And if you feel comfortable going into like what the circumstances were around them, if you remember. So December 28th, 2022, I'm going to stop using the word loyal. People aren't loyal to you. They are loyal to their need of you. Once their needs change, so does their loyalty.
Yeah. Man.
Only as much as you feel comfortable.
Nah, you caught me in a real moment because I'm going through this in real time. It kind of goes back to that conversation we was having earlier. It's like people don't want what you can give them. They want your life. So it's like they'll be loyal.
When you say their life, like your life, do you mean like
it's like
your career,
you're going? They want to walk in the room and somebody knows them.
Your notoriety.
Yeah,
then.
like they want to come places and it's like, oh, you're doing an interview they want to do this. You know what I mean? So it's like you can give people the world. But it's like at the end of the day, you could buy them a house. At the end of the day, they sitting in that house wishing, I wish I was doing that interview. I wish I was wearing that outfit. I wish I was hanging with that person. I wish I was doing this. So it's like when that changes or they no longer feel like they can use you. Like I tell people all the time, it's okay to use me, just don't misuse me. And what's happened with a lot of my friendships that I grew up with, they misuse me. So I'll give you this quick analogy. I was telling somebody this last night. Your day threes be your realest niggas. Because your day ones be people you was forced to be around. You went to school somewhere, your mom moved to a certain area, so you was forced to grow up with these people. Your day twos be like coworkers and college students or classmates that you know you went and got a drink with, or you know what I mean, y'all had talks during break or whatever it may be at work. But your day threes be the people you relate through growth. And y'all learn how to become friends. So it's like, you want to buy a house, I want to buy a house. You getting your credit up, I'm getting my credit up. You know what I mean? You got kids, I got kids. So we got play dates. So through that, we'll grow to become friends versus us starting out as friends and growing to not be friends. So what I've dealt with a lot of times when I wrote that is people who feel like they can't use me for their benefit anymore. They can't use me to say, hey, y'all pull up, Sim coming through to some girls, or you know what I mean? Or y'all got a bag for me? Like, I can get Sim to pull up. They can't use me for that no more. So when they can't use me for that, I'm no longer in service to them. Now they don't know how to be my friend. So they don't even know how to call and be like, hey, bro, you good? How your son doing? You know what I mean? Did you watch the game today? Like, did you eat? What you eat today? They don't even know how to do that. It's solely, hey, bro, can I borrow 3,500? Could you put me in contact with this person? And it's yes, 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 until it's no. And then when it's no, the loyalty changes.
So hanging with Peck, CC, Tiafo, and all of these sports legends has really made me get into PrizePicks, the official daily fantasy sponsor of Connect the Dots. PrizePicks is so simple, and to be honest, really means more than traditional sports for me. It's the esports I absolutely love. As y'all know, I'm a bit of a gamer, so the fact that I can make selections on Call of Duty is pretty awesome. It makes watching the matches so much better. And I'm really starting to get into the teams. I'm excited for us to have some WNBA legends, Caitlin, Sabrina. Hopefully you're listening so I can make my selection on those games and Peck can take me courtside, perhaps. As a Michigan girl, I even got my friends into making selections on NBA games with the Pistons. Yeah. PrizePicks for me is about simplicity between the ability to use Apple Pay and easily deposit, or the promotions like Taco Tuesday. I have been having so much fun bouncing my selections off Peck. Hit the description for the official link to use code CTD for a first deposit match up to $100.
All right, we're going to send it over to our C4 moment, C4 Smart Energy, sponsor Connect the Podcast. Oh my God. C4 Smart Energy, sponsor of Connect the Dots podcast. And what we do is we do a segment where we ask our guests what they do to stay focused. If you have a ritual, if you have particular people you talk to, music you listen to, what do you do to stay focused?
Recently I've been going to the gym. That's become a new thing for me. Hanging with my son. Just really kind of like sitting back and like assessing what's going on. So like this weekend, this will be a weekend where it's like we'll meet a lot of people. You'll get phone numbers, you'll meet all these people, you'll take pictures, but then Monday happens and that's where the real work starts. So it's like before I would forget to tap in with these people or see, what's going on. Now it's like, okay, let me sit down Monday to reach out to everybody I met through this weekend to make sure whatever opportunity is there, I'm trying to maximize it on my end. So staying focused for me may be sitting down and going through my contacts I've met for All-Star weekend or Super Bowl weekend or Grammy weekend or going to the gym or getting in the studio or being with my child or whatever it may be. It all, for me, comes down to like having some time for yourself to really sit back and analyze what's going on so you can attack it in the proper way.
Awesome.
Hip-hop bracket.
Yes.
We doing top fives?
No.
This is how I got in trouble with Eminem.
We do. We do tournament style.
Okay.
So we're going to send it over to our beloved and much controversial segment, Hip Hop Goat Bracket, everyone. Yes.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So.
Kendrick or Tupac? Wow, you guys are foul.
I love the
J. Cole
response.
or Notorious B.I.G., you guys are evil.
Drake
Drake
love
or
it.
JayZ is wrong.
Upper
Nas and
management.
Eminem is just God. Okay.
So we do this tournament style, and we're gonna start off with Nas versus Eminem. Incidentally,
We can flip it to just Mac Dre versus.
no, let's
gonna
let's
go-
keep it.
I'm going to go Nas.
All right, Nas. All right, J. Cole versus Notorious B.I.G.
Is there a criteria for this list? Or is just...
That criteria can be whatever you want. It could be you personally like their music better. You think they're a better businessman. You think they're just more inspirational to the culture.
Shout out to Cole. One of my favorites right now. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to JID. Shout out to Boz, the whole Dreamville. But I'm going to respectfully have to go with Biggie.
All right. Do you have a particular basis for why you pick Biggie?
Biggie is the reason I rap with so much style. When he's in the system, ain't no telling when I fuck him, when I diss him. That's what they be yelling him. It's like a whole thing with him. You know what I mean? So it's like he gave us that. So I got to run with Big on that one.
Awesome. JayZ versus Drake.
This is foul. This is foul because that's literally my two favorite rappers of all time. And you're making me pick one. I'm going to have to go JayZ.
Okay.
Shout out to Drizzy though, man. That's the GOAT. Drake actually bought me a drink. We were in Highlight Room in LA and he was like, what do you drink? I was like, tequila. He brought me a fucking drink. So it was like,
cool.
He's a good dude, but I gotta run with Hov.
We have Kendrick Lamar versus Tupac. Interesting mashup there. I kind of like that actually.
I'm going to have to go with Kendrick because I feel like Kendrick is so much more artistic and very eclectic and very someone that's like one of one. You know, so was Tupac, but I feel like Kendrick took it a little deeper and Pac's time was cut short before he could
really
take it to where Kendrick kind of took it. So I'm going to have to say Kendrick.
All right.
Now you got me going.
Now we
Kendrick
got
versus JayZ. Y'all are foul.
semifinals. We have Nas versus Biggie.
Biggie.
All right. JayZ versus Kendrick.
JayZ.
All right. Oh, okay. We have JayZ
And would you look at that?
and Biggie
Brooklyn's finest.
for our final.
Brooklyn's finest.
What you going with?
I got to pick one?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Do they play 7 games?
No, I mean,
Or it's just a one game?
one game.
I'm going to go with Hov, man.
All right.
I'm going to go with Hov. He's just better. He's just better.
All right. There we go. That's another one. That's a wrap.